There's the driver's side pod, and I got that one set up just a little bit different than this side. So I'm going to kind of rework this side and match it up with the look that I got over here. I'm using the different tweeter, the tweeter pod that the speakers actually came with, which will be better. Let's see, I'll stop this thing and refocus. So there is the mold, whatever you want to call it, reverse mold for my pod. So basically you're looking at the inside of the cover. And so when I break that loose, this will break loose, this ring will break loose. So when I put that back on, this stuff will all be there. And you can see how I got the tape pushed in, you know, certain thickness up in here, around here, on the bottom. So when I put a couple of sheets of glass on there, it'll come up to that edge or just shy of it, which will leave a little bit of room for Bondo, you know, to true things up if I need to. So this cover is going to come right to the edge of this trim. They'll match up together, and then it'll just follow that edge perfect. So it'll look like it's made to fit the car. And when you put the dash in there, right here, and under here, this right here, just follows a nice gap for my dash. So again, looks like it's made to fit the car. Of course it is made to fit the car, so it's going to look cool. It's going to work out pretty good. Yeah, and then I'm going to redo that side, get rid of that toilet paper roll, tuck it in a little better right here. When I was sitting in the seat, wanted the tweeter in more so it's not in the line of vision. So I'll do the same thing over there, tuck that one in, and possibly, it's not too bad, but I want to make sure I kind of make them look the same as far as how I got this one really tucked in tidy against the roll cage, so it just looks smaller compared to that one. So along with the tweeter pod, this looks smaller. So yeah. And what else? Oh shoot, I figured since I'm on my way, I might as well go ahead and finish it off and make the covers for the rest of the bar. And you know, that part will be easy compared to what I'm doing here. So we'll go ahead and finish, make a full set of covers for the bar, and you know, that'll just top it off. That'll just put the icing on the cake. There's not going to be anything left in the interior that won't be tricked out. So well on the way. Okay, now there it is with the dash sitting in there, and you can see the bottom side of that pod is contoured with the top side of the dash. So looks pretty damn good. I don't know if you can see right in there, but yeah, it's gonna look really good. So I'm happy with that. Now I'm gonna get over on that other side and catch it up with this side. And I've got plenty of supplies, so we'll start laying some glass on here and getting that done. Now I'm getting some of the other extended off down the other bar there. I figured I'm just going to get it all ready. Notice how I got around that window? And do the same thing. Make that piece drop down around that window. So yeah, there you go. Once again, this thing just never ends. Get a lot of comments about how people are surprised at just how much, little details and time and effort, that goes into just everything. And I didn't know how I was going to end up finishing the interior when I started this car. In fact, it was the least of my focus, and now that I'm doing it, how could I ignore it? So it's got to be done. So I'll do what I can to trick this out. Yeah, I just heard on the forum, real nice looking interior. Not the Stig's interior, which is mind-blowing. Yeah, you have to get on the forum and look, and the guy's name is the Stig. That's his forum name, Mike. And his interior is just insane. But then more of a basic interior popped up on there, kind of what I was looking for, and they're talking 5, 6, 7 grand. And I'm not going to pay somebody that kind of money. I haven't paid anybody to do anything on this car as of yet, except rebuild the motor. And man, I can't do it. So I'm going to figure out something on this dash. You can see some tape I got lined out here. I got some stuff I'm going to do to kind of finish up that dash. And yeah, I got to figure out a way to do it myself here, which I do have a way. And I'll show you coming up. But for now, get these roll cage covers. It's going to be really cool having that covered up, because it's just ugliness if I were to leave that there. Compared to the rest of the car anyway. I got a different car, that's a show car. It was actually featured in a magazine, and the inside of that is just basic and plain Jane as can be. Alrighty, got the whole thing prepped out and ready, except for the fact I'm going to take some big paper and lay down everywhere so I don't get fiberglass dripping all over everything. Notice how I got these little bridges in between. So these will be separate pieces, and this will be separated just by the thickness of a piece of tape. So when I peel that off, it'll be separated. And I'll have a nice clean line. This is all one flowing piece, so it'll give the illusion of being one piece, except for the separation here. This is all ready. So now it's time to start laying fiberglass down, one section at a time. Alright, so there's some of the mess. Some of the mess. What a pain. A lot of work. That's not easy. what you're looking at there is not easy to do. It takes some technique and some patience and some saving your butt to get that on there like that. So 2 pieces done, and 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 more to go. Alright, got all the pieces done, and yucky, that's all I can say. What a mess. What an awful mess. Overhead, inside, kind of cramped. Doing fiberglass work. Love it. So, we're good to go. Now I'm going to see if I can peel that stuff off of here and start grinding away, do some carbon, see if I can make something out of it. Alrighty, there are the pieces, plus 1 more over here. Lovely, huh? Another fiberglass project. My favorite thing to do. The inside looks good. Too bad the outside didn't look like that, but it will soon. Got this one ground down. And I'll slap some Bondo on there and we'll see how it turns out. This right here is the edge that'll come up over the windshield, up around the lip towards the windshield. The piece in between the center of the mirror bracket, and then my pods. Looks like a mess, but hopefully it'll look good when I'm done. Okay, there's another one of my pieces. Got a nice lip, nice even uniform lip, which will come up. Let's see if I can get this one in here. I got another one down there. Oh, it just fell, so there. Anyway, so that'll come up around that edge and hide that edge real good. And let me get inside. Let me get inside now. Okay, so like this piece right here tucks right up against the roof, real nice. And I'll finish the edge over here, make that more pretty. And then we got this one here, which I've done the grinding on for the fiberglass. Looks much better when you grind that off. And let's see if I can put this in one-handed here. Oh yeah, there we go, just like that. And then I'll put the grill inside that hole rather than outside, cover up that speaker. And again, this wraps around the edge over here, make that nice and uniform. And then I'll get it, all 3 pieces to meet up real nice right here at this union. But yeah, Time to put some Bondo on there. And I'm going to use Velcro, I believe, try and keep the screws out of here. On this one here, actually using this bottom spot, which will go in right here. So that'll be a mounting point for this cover, as well as a mounting point for the speaker at the same time. But man, what a lot of work. What a lot of work. But it'll be worth it. It's turning out nicely. Still moving along. That's what she looks like after a coat of Bondo. And it's still going to need another coat, but for one coat, that came out real nice. There's just a couple little low spots. A lot of pinholes. When I get a pinhole like that, I take some 40 grit and just scratch through it. So then when I put my next skim coat on there, those scratches will let the Bondo have something to go into besides just the hole. Anyway, it's just a better way to cover up a pinhole, and you just gouge it out. So yeah, there's that. Here's the other one on its way. Still doing some sanding in here. But yeah, this one's coming out nicely also. And once I get those pieces done, I got two more to do, which are the ones that go across the side and then down around the window. Cover up all that stuff around the window. And it's early Saturday morning, so my goal is to work non-stop through the weekend. I'll probably put in, 14, 15-hour days, and see if I can't end up with some primer on these parts, which means they're done by Sunday. So we'll see. There's a little bit of fine-tune on the tweeter pod going on here. So basically, that's carving it down with 36 grit, just getting it knocked down real quick, and then brushing over it with 80 grit real quick. And then if it needs some fine tuning, then I'll put a little bit more on like I've done here. And I'll tweak that out a bit. And then once I get that smoothed down, I'll use this glaze. It's a real thin type of a Bondo. Just smear that on there real thin. That covers up all the pinholes. And I'll knock that down with 80 grit. And then it'll be ready for primer. If it comes down good enough, which it will. So yeah, nice to get it that far. And it's looking pretty good. Looking pretty good. It's going to work out good. A little bit more of the same. Just getting some Bondo on another piece here. Just dump this stuff on thick and heavy on this first coat. Then I'll take that 36 40 grit and carve that down. There it is. After the fiberglass is ground down and trimmed up. And then this is that stuff on there, that is the the glaze. That's just a real thin coat, you know, and that's the last coat before we put primer on it. I got both of those ready to roll except for this part, and I'll get all 3 pieces up in there, tape it up proper, smear it all with mud, and then take a hacksaw blade or a knife or something and edge down the middle and make all 3 of those pieces flow together. So I'm kind of waiting until I get this piece done. Anyway, so this is time to start sanding. So here we go. Okay, now I got these pieces taped up in here to finish off that joint right there. Make sure that gets all leveled out and even. And then I had one little spot over on that edge where I wanted to fix up with some fiberglass. So now I'll be able to take that loose and finish it up. Be done. Okay, and I got glaze on these pieces, so they're done. Just a real thin skim coat, which I'll take down with 80. Got all this part. You know, the part's done basically. I just gotta knock down that glaze coat and it's ready for primer. I got both corners fixed right here and over there to where it just flows in nice and smooth like it's all one piece. And now that's what I'm doing with the center here. I'll get that all dialed in where this 1, 2, 3 pieces all look like they're one piece, with my mirror bracket kind of coming out of the middle of them. So we'll get that done this morning. It's 4 o'clock in the morning right now. So I get up early, get working on this thing. See how that looks from the top? It's gonna turn out pretty damn good. There's the 3 center pieces. Many hours. Many hours to get that to look like that's one piece. And to get the gaps right around these brackets. You know, and to get it to line up on the roof, to get it to line up around the windshield, and get it to look like it's all one flowing piece. So yeah, pretty tricky. A lot of hours. Not done yet, but I mostly got that part done. And a few little touching up here and there. But it's getting there. I got quite a mess going. Quite a mess going in my garage. There's about a gallon of Bondo sanded off on my floor right there. Making a lot of headway here. These pieces are damn near done. A little bit of fine tuning, touching up. Notice how those all go together. Nice even lines. Flowing right next to each other. And I'm finishing up on the other pieces. This one here and this one at the moment. Once I get it that far, I'll still have to go back and use a little bit of glaze for some pinholes and crap like that, and then we'll hit it with the primer, and that will be a lovely moment to get those primed. because that means that's pretty much done. But then I still got to go back and do what I need to do. Finish up this dash here, the center console. And I still got some modifying I need to do on the door panels. So although I'm gaining some ground, I got a lot of work to do. It sucks when you think you're done, then you add another 400 hours of work for yourself. But you just keep going. I've been putting in long weeks, like getting up 3, 4 in the morning and then going to work 8 hours. Okay, got the rest of it done. All lined up, all trimmed up. And made sure it's going to fit up against the dash with the proper gaps and all that stuff. So now I'm going to tear all that back out of there and do a little bit of covering up pinholes. Get some primer on there. And I'm so damn tired I can hardly think right now, so be nice to get some primer on that, clean things up a little bit, and start finishing up on the rest of the dash. Okay, there it is again. One step closer. Now this time it's covered up with Bondo, but there's a screw countersunk right there. And one right here, one over there, one back there, one over here. So basically that's what holds that in there. And I got one more point on each side, which is part of the speaker mount. And I'll countersink a screw right there. So I got all my gaps, everything's lined up, everything's mounted, good to go. And so now I got a couple more pinholes, cleaning up a few edges, but basically that's it. So now I'm going to start on this dash, kind of mimicking this line here in the center. Get going on that. Oh no, what'd I do? Cut a hole in the dash. I'm going to get some fiberglass and kind of reshape that thing. So I got it all taped up, propped in position, and we're going to let her fly. Alrighty. Got her ground off. Got the mess cleaned up. Time for a little bit Bondo in the morning. So we're getting close. How many times have I said that? About 100? About 100 times. Getting close. Remember, I don't know, a month ago, I was working on the grill. I thought I was almost done. And then I started working on the interior. Getting the panels done, all this stuff. So once I get that done, next I will tackle door panels.